Greetings! Welcome along to the stream and welcome back to my city of Portland, where I'm just popping in really for half an hour or 45 minutes before I decide to have some lunch, because I've got a spare bit of time. And I thought I'd carry on from pretty much where I left off yesterday. And the situation is as follows. We've got a population decline. We're down to 80,000 people. We were yesterday at around 86 and climbing up towards the 90,000 milestone, but that is gone at the moment. We're seeing a drop down to 80,000 people, and I don't know why. There's a mild demand for residential, there's fair demand for commercial, there's fair demand, or significant demand for industry, which I'm trying to squeeze some more in. But basically, we had 86,000 people in the city, and there's evidently space for 86,000 people in the city without zoning any more residential, so where the devil have they all gone to? See, it says they're happy. Portland Council survey suggests that its residents are happy, yet they're all disappearing. They're all moving out. 79,000. My voice is still croaky, you can hear, probably, maybe. So yeah, so that's a little bit of a bother, trying to figure out what's going on there, where I can zone some more bits and pieces in without destroying what I've got already, and destroying the field and layout of the city. I don't really want to do that too much. So I've just been trying to squeeze in a bit more industry. I could up the grade of this industry from bog standard offices to high-rise IT. I think I'll do that, because I think we get more industry in that space by doing that. So we're going to extend this district down here. Whoops, not right over the river, not that it matters. But let's keep it tidy. Let's bring that back in. We'll just go up to the edge of the city there, of the river, sorry. And that will change then the nature of the industry that's here. So we'll see a drop in industry, and I suppose that might impact on population levels, I don't know. But maybe it'll just ease the demand for industry, and therefore there'll be more jobs, and maybe people will start moving back. I don't know. It might work, it might not. Well, I've been looking at what I've got available in terms of where things should go. And in terms of land values, that was something I was looking at just off stream yesterday. As I went off stream, I decided just have a little look around. I was looking at land values, and we've got very high land values in this residential area over here, the traditional part of the city before it expanded across the river. And even on this side of the river, we're doing pretty well with land values. Over here, not so much. And at the new residential estate, definitely not so much. Definitely. Get my words out. So it'd be good to try and improve the land values there. Now, the question is, how? What's going on over here? We've got fire coverage, we've got a fire station, we've got police coverage, I think, yep, next door, so police is there. We've got a primary school. We haven't got a high school over here, mind you, so that could be beneficial. Could just plonk one of those in somewhere. Can't do that, there's a park there. But you're plonking a high school there, why not just drop it in? Yeah, have a high school. That might make them a little bit happier. They're connected on public transport with a couple of metro lines. They have a local bus service, which isn't visible at the moment. Let's make that. Well, no, sorry, it is visible. It's that the black line, and just goes around. It's a state. The idea being that, excuse me, the idea being that you don't take the bus from here to go anywhere. You take the metro, but the bus will take you around this estate. But over here, I mean, they've got more services over here. I'm sure they have. They've got high school. They've got a whatever that one was. Is it that one? Yeah, the Institute of Creative Arts. They've got over there. They've got some parks, I think. Have a look. Yeah. So they should be quite happy, but they're not. The land values aren't high. And I'm not too sure why. And that rhymes. I'm a poet, and I know it. I'm not a poet, don't worry. I'm also about to break out into rhyme. Lots of buses. A bit congested in terms of buses. That could do with some form of improvement. I mean, what is going on? It's a complete jam. We've got buses collided with buses. 1, 2, the dark green, 2 of the light. Well, these are becoming a hybrid. That's a bit weird. So we've got a bus jam, something to address at some point. But our population is now down to 79,000. The industry demand has gone. So rezoning over here seems to have done the trick as far as that is concerned. There's a moderate demand for commerce. I can extend the commercial zones over here to deal with that. Let's do that. Let's do that now. Okay, I'm going to bring a new 2-lane road out this way. I want to be a bit careful. I don't want to be putting too many junctions on the main road. So I'm going to come up this way. Which isn't quite straight, but never mind. And we'll just go across like that. And then we'll have another one here. Which can also connect up there. And we'll zone in the commerce in here. Which will need water definitely. Hopefully it's okay for power because it'll connect to the main strip. We'll see if that does anything to satiate the demand for commerce. It's a little bit out of the way, this section, but we've got access onto the what was a bypass. It's now very quickly becoming a road through the city. This will probably end up being the inner ring road, the way things are going. 78,700, still going down. We've got tiny demand for residential. I could increase the density. Excuse me, the density. Let's do that. And I think I need to think about extending into new districts and new areas to try and maybe encourage people to move in. Of course, at the moment, I'm not doing any encouraging. I'm actually kicking people out. Hey ho. Such is the price of progress. Still a very old dirt track in there. That's a legacy road. I upgraded one of those yesterday. I could do the same again today, but I'm not going to at the moment. Right, I'm expecting a small drop in population because doing this is kicking people out temporarily while we rebuild their houses in a more dense format. So we're nearly down to 78,000. 86 yesterday, we've lost lots. 8,000. So let's have an overview then of what we've got available. Now, land values seem higher on the river edge, which makes sense. So I'm thinking we've still got river edge down here and down here that we can use. And maybe it'd be worthwhile extending residential areas over here. Whole new residential district. This bit and this bit. The danger is this area is susceptible to tsunami. There's not too much I can do about that short of trying to put another raised embankment on to deflect from any incoming water. I think that's the first thing that's got to be done just in case. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at doing that over here. But the question is, how high will it go? How much soil do we have? Not enough. So I presume then, what if I dig down, dig a channel, quite a deep channel, and we'll set a level. We'll just draw a channel in here. And what I'm hoping this will do is actually give me the soil to then raise up an embankment. But this also helps to, it might help to channel off water in smaller tsunamis. Will it be enough? Time will tell. And this is going to be a long project, as we can see. It's quite a slow process of digging this channel. Which will form the flood defences. Or at least that is the plan. That is what I hope. Because it doesn't look that deep. And it isn't. When it comes to big tsunami events, this isn't going to be anywhere near enough. But it will cause a runoff, I suppose, into the river. So if you're looking for a very exciting stream, this probably isn't going to be it. Because literally all I'm doing is digging. As our population now falls to 77,800. What is going on? What am I neglecting? We've got sporadic crime problems. I can increase the police budget, I suppose. Let's have a look. Police, they're at 110%. Let's increase them to 120. It's not like we don't have the money. Come on, I'm fussy on 20. There we go. Okay. See if that deals with a little sporadic bits of crime that are popping up here and there. Population drop is a problem, but at the moment the money situation isn't. So it's not the end of the world if we see a little drop. We're still earning 6,000, whatever unit of currency that is, and I've got a nice healthy budget of 5 million. So, as I say, it won't be the end of the world to see a population drop, but there will be a point where that doesn't become sustainable. And I may find doing this will not be deep enough, and any embankment I can build up next to it will not be high enough. But there's a degree of doing what I can to protect the city. And if that means the impact of a tsunami is lessened, even if not eliminated, by having this this trench and embankment that will come in next to it, well then that's a positive. If the flooding effect is lessened, if fewer properties get destroyed or flooded, whoops, then we can only see that as a good thing, even if it's not total protection for the city. Question is, how far do we want to go? We haven't actually gone that far. I mean, it's taken quite a while to do this. Basically, the idea would be to go right across, I think. Whether I do all of that now, I don't know. We could start seeing now, I suppose, about increasing the height here. The question is, how high can we go, and how high do we want to go? Okay. So the idea, we can see the idea there now. So we have effectively this huge wall that I hope will deflect, if not all the water, a significant part of the water that comes this way from the tsunami. And the big tsunamis, of course, are rare, but smaller ones happen from time to time. And the very smallest ones don't get up to the city as it is at the moment. But if I'm going to zone here, that makes it that much more susceptible. We get that much closer to the sea. It's not necessarily the neatest landscaping job in the world. It doesn't have to be. See, from here that doesn't look very significant, but as we go this way we can see the channel is quite substantial. But will it be enough? Only time will tell. Be a little bit careful because I'm actually bringing the trench in a bit there. I'll just try and make everything quite level. Okay. Don't know if there's much I can do just to bring that down on this side so it's steeper. But I think that's okay. So that'll be the idea, and we'll just keep that going along. It'll almost certainly end up being bridged at some point as the city expands and we need a road to continue on down to the sea, particularly if I put in a harbour. which is something I do want to do and I haven't done yet. Okay, it's not perfect, but it's okay. I have no idea whether that's going to be sufficient at all. It doesn't look that high from this side, but it might protect against smaller events. And of course this side is much more significant. But the channel may well be far too narrow. We're down to 76,000 people. This is insane. We have lost 10,000 people. I'm going to bring in a new branch off this roundabout. I'm going to bridge this initial flood defence. I'm not going to cut into it, I don't think. I think cutting into it would be a bad idea. Let's turn the snapping off because the angle I'm getting there isn't quite what I want. I'd rather have it like that. So I'm just going to go over the flood defence there and come down as soon as we can. Right, I can put the snapping back on now. So we do have residential stuff there. We're going to put residential stuff in here. I'm going to make it a nice riverfront rather, estate. See if we can repeat the land value benefit that we've seen elsewhere. Of course, this does also mean that there's a danger from flooding on the river, but we do have high banks, so I'm hoping that won't be too much of an issue. Just bring that down like so. I'm just going to take the end off there, and then we're going to zone dense residential. I'm going to see if we can just spur a population growth. Bring the water in off the main line. Okay, and they'll want some power because they're fussy like that. So I say every single time, we need some new lines. Okay. Right, let's also zone that little bit there as dense residential, and that should connect the power lines up, hopefully. So we've maintained the the existing flood defence. That stays. We're cutting in a new flood defence over here, which is probably not going to be sufficient, but we'll see. We've got a new residential area, and it's doing nothing. I cannot place. Why can I not select? Thank you. Right, let's redraw that. And that's just not growing at all. There's just no demand. Why is that not connected? I had that over the top, didn't I? I mean, if they've got no power, that's not going to help matters. That's weird. Well, why can't I... Why is that not staying connected? That is weird. Look. I'm losing the connection between there and there. Why is that? Why? Why? There we go. That was weird. That still says it's not connected. But it is. Right. Hopefully that's all it. Right, they're building. That's good. It's an out of the way residential area at the moment, but hopefully this whole area will grow into quite a nice estate. We've got connectivity onto the bypass, so you can get anywhere you need to go relatively straightforwardly. I just hope that starts to reverse the decline. Because at the moment, it's just dropping. I don't see any particular reason as to why. No one's complaining about anything by the looks of it. There's a little fire over there, but that's okay. They'll get put out. Industry's there. Got commercial zones. They seem reasonably happy. How's that going? Yeah, tube network's working. People have got access by foot and tube. I genuinely do not see what the problem is. Let's look at the population demographic again. Okay, there it is. So yesterday I was expecting this, where we'd see a greater death rate compared to the birth rate. But yesterday we were seeing the population drop and we weren't seeing it reflected in those figures. We were seeing a higher birth rate compared to death rate. And I was thinking, well, what on earth is going on? Why is it dropping if we're seeing a higher birth rate than death rate? This makes sense. So presumably if we look at the demographic, we got 31% of seniors, so slightly more than adults. But what's happening then is that people are just dying off slightly. If we look here. So yeah, so we've got more seniors than any other demographic at the moment. So it's an aging city. So we'll probably continue to see a bit of a drop in population. But then hopefully once the demographic swings back in favour of the younger people, we'll see that population start to increase again. That's the hope. And this is a hope, because I have no idea. As I say, yesterday we weren't seeing that issue. People are happy. It's 87%. Okay, still room for improvement, but they're generally happy. And I hope that this area will become quite high value. Now let's put the schools in. Put two schools together, primary school and high school. They'll presumably want fire coverage. They'll presumably want a police station. So we'll put those in. And I think we'll have a park. Can we fit a park in on the riverfront? That would be nice. What have I selected here? Who cares? That's nice. A riverfront park. I mean, the footpaths are a bit weird, but hey ho. Gives you a nice view across the city. So we've got a problem in industry here. A lot of complaints about not enough buyers, which means we need more commerce. Which we can do more commerce. Question is, I mean, would it be worthwhile thinking about a branch off the railway to go and serve the city on this side. That's an idea. I want to do it, it's worth doing that now. I need to think where it would have to go. Having it quite close to the motorway would probably be beneficial. Don't want a multi-platforming station, I just want a bog standard station. I just need to think about where it's going to go. Do I put it in here? In there would probably be worthwhile. Easy access from the motorway via the bypass. I'm going to do that. We're going to have a new railway. I'm going to run it quite close to the motorway. Just trying to get the railway to bridge this chasm. It's not an essential thing, I could level it out, but I've said before, I quite like working with the landscape as it exists. There we go. But what we want to do is just bring that a little bit higher because it's a bit up and down. Whoops. Okay, not that one, that one. Try and keep it level. How does that look? It's fairly level, I think. But here it's gone quite high, so we're just going to bring that down. There we are. That's not too bad. Slight slope here, that's okay. Just going to put a slight curve on this line as we cross the river. Just trying to get where the elevation is best. I don't want the track to be angling down like that. So I think we'll go to there. I'm just going to turn that in ever so slightly. We just turned a little bit too far away for my liking. And then we're going to cross the bridge. Nice straight line. There we go. That's nice. That's good. So we're following the line of the motorway. I quite like that. And then we need to bring it round. Again, just following the line of the motorway or the highway, whatever you like to call it. As we come up here, and then we're going to have to either go over. I think we'll bridge it. I think we'll bridge the road. We can find a place to do the bridge, of course. There we go. And we'll then bring it down to join the existing line. And then we can put a new line in, new local service. That will just go to and fro, just a branch. Which line was that? That will be this one. So that will be the northern branch line. What colour shall we have for that one? Light blue? Light blue. There we go. And this station will allow into city services. So the idea there is that it'll be good for the commerce, allowing city trains. And there we can see one running, two running. And as we're allowing intercity trains, what we're also going to do is just take a fork of this line and bring it around. If I can just get the angle right. So I really don't want it to be turning there. I want the it might not be subtle enough. Let's see, will that connect? Yes, it will. I'm just going to bring see if we can just bring that connection point back a bit. So now we haven't got a connection there, but if we just bring that around like that, then we do. Okay. Now, I may find it ends up being a bit congested. So if it does, what I'll do is I'll take the branch line direct onto its own platform, because we've got the spare line. But we're not seeing a reversal in the population decline. We're still dropping, 74,000 now. The adults are starting to catch up in population size to the seniors, so hopefully we're starting to see the end of the dip. No one's using the station yet. Hopefully they will. Oh, that's by complete coincidence. There's a bus stop there as well. Perfect. That will end up being useful, I'm sure. There are 8 people on the train, so that's good. Off it goes. So the primary purpose of this is really to bring intercity traffic into here. What may be beneficial then is a tube connection. Just going to bring that tube connection around in this sort of loop. To connect onto that line. And then we can bring this stop over to here. But then we'll add the stop back in. There we go. So you've got easy connection now between the station and this commercial area. Will it be enough to sort out the lack of workers? We'll see. $24 people. Okay, so it's being used. We'll have to wait and see what happens with the metro. Hopefully that's going to be used. The landscaping here is a bit off, isn't it? Can't do much about that. Four people are using it. Good. Bus. Got 5 people on there at the moment. People are waiting. 9 people are boarding. So that's good. And we've got an intercity service with 1 person on it. What's the point? People are going in there, so we should see the figure here change before too long. We've got a problem with bodies piling up over here. So let's just put in another crematorium to try and solve that one before that becomes an issue. Still no passengers. But they're going in, there must be passengers. Right, I'm hoping we've seen the reversal of the population decline. If we look at those numbers. I'm wondering if it's worthwhile taking a branch off from here straight into Portland Central. You can get to Portland Central, but it's quite a long trip. I would have to have a branch off here, and this will be a new line. Okay. Right, this is going to be the last little thing I do for now. I'm going to put a new line. Which is a direct link. Should be this one, I think. Portland West link. And then we're going to name this station Portland West. There we go, we've got some people on the metro, that's good. That means it's connected. We'll just see if we can sort out the landscaping just there, because that looks horrible. go. It's very rough terrain, but it looks better now. We're hiding the tube line a bit better. We're going into city service coming in. No passengers. Right, I think I'm going to leave it there. So, just a small session. New residential district going in on the riverfront here to try and spurn a bit of population growth. A new branch on the railway to connect into the commercial district down here, and a spur off the metro as well, which also has a direct link into the main interchange at Portland Central. And started on a new flood defence system, which is cutting in here to try and mitigate the effects of tsunamis which come from the sea, which are going to have a greater impact on the new residential district, which is going in this side here, compared to what it has had, where this has been the sort of boundary which has always been affected by tsunamis. But I'm hungry. It is my lunchtime, so I'm going to call it there. Say thank you very much for watching. Do hit the follow button and the notification bell as well, so that if you want to pop back in and see how Portland develops, you can do. Hopefully we're going to reverse this population decline and go from 74,000 up to towards the 90,000 milestone. That's the next big one. And yesterday we were getting so close. We're up to 86,000 people, and then we've just seen a huge drop where we've now lost 11 to 12,000 people. So hopefully we can reverse that. So do hit the follow button, do hit the notification bell, and you can pop back in and see how Portland is getting on. Have a look as well at twitch.tv/basicallybenGB for any schedule that I might do. Scheduling is a bit up in the air at the moment, so I'm not going to guarantee that, but have a little look there. Also have a look on Twitter at basicallybenGB. I'll also post little updates as well as and when I can. But otherwise, thank you very much for watching again. Hopefully I'll see you again. And yeah, bye-bye.